My name is Karis Nixon, and this is my third literature study for CIL 680. If you're a fan of romance, historical fiction, or just good old-fashioned teen angst, Last Night at the Telegraph Club is worth a read. This young adult novel by Malinda follows a high school senior named Lily as she discovers her attraction to other women in 1950s San Francisco. As she experiences her first love and gets involved with the underground lesbian nightclub scene, Lily faces pressure to conform to her family's expectations that she be a good Chinese girl, especially because the US government is targeting Chinese Americans in their investigations of suspected communists. To me, the best parts of this novel are the quiet moments when we get to experience Lily's emotions alongside her. This is a story of self discovery, not just of sexuality, but of Lily finding out what her own values are, rather than just the values she was raised with. She learns that there are other parts of herself besides the good Chinese girl that she's been taught to be. She learns how she deserves to be treated by friends. She learns how to speak up for herself, even when it's scary. All these things make this a relatable and impactful coming of age story. In the first part of the novel, we watch Lily slowly come to the realization that she is gay, something she hasn't really heard of before. One poignant moment comes after she tears a photo of a male impersonator out of a newspaper and places it with the other little artifacts she's collected: a photo of Katharine Hepburn lounging in trousers and a blazer, and a photo of two female pilots holding hands. Now she laid the women pilots on the bed next to Katharine Hepburn and Tommy Andrews and looked at them all in succession. She couldn't put into words why they had gathered these photos together, but she could feel it in her bones, a hot and restless urge to look, and by looking, to know. Later on, she finally gets to see the male impersonator Tommy Andrews in person. The experience is overwhelming for her. It seemed to me like any teenager seeing their celebrity crush in person, but with an additional level of scandal. The way she stood, the way she moved, her swagger, so like a man, and yet. It was that yet that made Lily's skin flush warm. The knowledge that despite the clothes Tommy wore, despite the attitude that invited everyone in the room to gaze at her, she was not a man. I'm a sucker for a love story, so my favorite moments in this book were between Kath and Lily as their feelings for each other grew. Melinda Lowe uses such beautiful language to describe every feeling that Lily experiences. She felt as if speaking would ruin everything. Then they'd have to put a name to this feeling between them, this rapidly growing heat and longing that made the sliver of air between their bodies charged with electricity. She could swear she felt the air humming. Some other impactful moments include Lily's home life, her parents, and her childhood friend Shirley. Shirley represents Lily's childhood, and throughout the novel, Lily begins to outgrow their friendship. Although Shirley doesn't treat Lily very well, their shared culture and their families have kept them close. It's interesting to watch how their friendship changes shape as Lily changes, and how things end between Lily and Shirley. Also looming over Lily's love story is the fact that her father had his citizenship papers taken away because he wouldn't turn in a suspected communist in their community. This reminds us that despite the sweet love story we're reading, there could be dire consequences. Overall, I would rate this book 4 out of 5 stars. There were flashback scenes that felt unnecessary to me, but the imagery, and emotional authenticity more than makes up for it. Lowe includes mouth-watering descriptions of food, and the way that she writes emotions made me feel like a teenager falling in love for the first time as well. I would definitely recommend Last Night at the Telegraph Club.